Hey, what's going on, guys? Redbeard here from the Warrior Tribe. As I promised you, I was going to make a little educational video on how to make your own homemade sprouts using a sprouting jar. The reason this can come in handy, if you're storing a lot of dried foods, say for a disaster scenario or just general preparedness, what that often just gives us is a lot of non-perishable pantry-type foods. Dried beans, that sort of thing. Good nutrients, but what is missing is some of those micronutrients that we get out of our produce, our fresh fruits and vegetables. Things that are going to be in short supply when, we might need them. So a nice solution for that, and it's super easy, is doing your own sprouts. So this is a batch of mung bean sprouts, very much like you would see in, a typical Chinese food type sprout. Great on salads, in wraps, things like that. And so these took about 5 days to make. So I thought I'd start another batch today and give you guys a little rundown on how it's done. So what you're going to need is a sprouting jar, and it could be any size. The bigger the better if you want to make lots. This is what I use. It makes, a couple cups at a time, and you can do 5-6 jars at a time if you want. So you need a mason jar. You take the lid of the mason jar, you pop out the steel circle part that goes in there, the seal, and you replace that with a piece of steel mesh screen. If you can't find some of that to cut to size to fit in there, this just makes it easier. If you can't find that, a little bit of screen, plastic screen that you'd have on your window, and an elastic band will work fine. Just something that you can strain out the water each day. So to start making your sprouts, what you're going to need is some form of bean or seed, something that will sprout. Most things do, but do some experimenting, do some reading, and you'll find what works best. These happen to be adzuki beans. They're very healthy. These are your mung bean seeds here. And I also like to sometimes use fenugreek, which is a predominant spice found in curry spices. The sprouts that you will sprout from fenugreek seeds are quite strong and aromatic. And if you eat too many of them, you will smell it coming out of your body when you sweat. So just know that. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some adzuki beans today. So I'll take my jar, and I will probably measure out, say, 2 or 3 tablespoons of seeds. And I'll just add them into my jar. Now all I need to do at this step, is just cover them and let them sit in water. So I'll just fill them with water. Okay, just enough to cover. And I want to let that sit for about 24 hours and let those seeds, the beans in there, soak up all that water. Once they've done that, once they've sat in there for, anywhere from 18 to 24 hours would be good. And the lid can be on the whole time. It doesn't really matter. Then all I'm going to do at this point is just going to take that and dump out the water. Okay, once I've dumped out the water, I'll just sit them in a cupboard somewhere maybe out of direct sunlight, somewhere in a fairly reasonable temperature that's not too warm or too cold, and just leave them for an entire day. And at the end of the day, I'll take my jar, go over to my tap, put a little more water in them, swirl them around, sort of let them sit for a minute or so, and then again, just dump off that excess water. You can leave a few drops in there so it's not bone dry. And that's just enough water for the sprouts to start to grow. And I'll do that every day until my sprouts are at the level where I want them to be. You'll find certain seeds will do better than others. So do your experimenting, find out what works for you. I have had very little luck with things like chia. Chia seeds tend to get really slimy and gummy, and it just turns to a sort of smelly, rotten goo. And I haven't really had a lot of luck with sprouting quinoa. Sort of the same principle thing. It wasn't really, doing it sprouting. It was sort of getting a little bit sticky and gummy and messy. So I got to do a little bit more research myself. But anyways, guys, get out there, get yourself a jar, try it out. You'll find it's a lot easier than you think, and you can practically sprout anything. If you go to the hardware store or the nursery where you buy your plants in the summertime. You can buy all your seeds that you would plant vegetables. I've sprouted rutabaga seeds, onion seeds, all those things. You can pretty much grow anything in these sprouting jars. So experiment with it, have fun, and it's an excellent way to add some healthy micronutrients to your diet. All right, guys, I hope you found that video useful, and if you do try it, make some videos and post them up there so we can all see how it works for you. Thanks, guys.